Hello there. Welcome to the Word Cafe podcast. This podcast has been designed with created content that centers on the power of words. Can we really do anything without speaking? Can we really do anything without the agency of words? Yes, that is what this podcast is all about. And I am your host, Amakri Isowe, your neighborhood word trader. I believe in the power of words, for it is the unit of creation. I trade in words to profit my world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good everything. How are you all doing? Amazing. So beautiful to be back here again. Did we ever leave? I don't think so. Yes. How are you? What is it like at your end? I know. I mean, a lot of things are happening globally on the surface of the earth. You know, you sleep and you wake up. What you saw yesterday is gone. A lot of changes happening, and somehow, you know, we are now living in, should I say, a discomforted comfort position, if there's anything like that. Yes, we're back again to the Word Cafe live show, and we have something special today. I have an individual, you know, I want to share the space with, and he has a lot to share with us. You know, from where we come from, we call him Famous Amos. But when he comes on, he will say more about himself. And we're going to be exploring leadership via science, not management science now as in physical science, physics, chemistry, and what have you, bringing out some leadership principles from all of this. Enough of it. I'm going to bring him on now. You know, he's a TEDx speaker. He's an engineer. He's an author. You know, we're going to talk about his book and everything. An amazing personality. You want to see him? I want to see him too. Now I'm going to get him into the studio. And there he is. Hello, Famous Amos.
Thank you very much, Coach Amakri.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good to have you here. So what's it like at your end? I know you're somewhere around. Yeah. Go on.
The weather is so bright. Okay. I'm just by the, can I say the frontiers of Bonny Kingdom? So it's on an island, yeah.
You're at the mouth of the Atlantic, more or less. Like you're looking at the Atlantic every morning when you wake up, you know. That's where Bonny is situated, just along that Atlantic, you know. Beautiful. So. You know, before we came on, I was telling you as in what we're going to be talking about. But before we do that, I'm going to allow you introduce yourself because I like doing that. I always tell my guests, nobody knows you like you. So we're going to hear from you. Who is Famous? Let's get to meet him. Ogunleko. That's your surname, correct?
Ologunleko.
Good. Thank you. So who is this amazing personality?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach Amakri. I think you are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, really.
Pleasure.
My name is Amos Ologunleko, and really, starting out in life, I so much enjoyed sciences. So my root is actually in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, what you call STEM.
Oh, STEM.
Yeah, but at the current phase I am now, I'm blending it up with what you call arts, social sciences, and humanities. So, and I have some kind of philosophy around that, which hopefully I might be able to share as we go along.
No, you will. You know, for someone who is from the STEM background, you know, and now you're fusing it into the social sciences and management sciences. I mean, we would like to hear about that. What happened? How did you move from the technical, as we call it, within the production space into the more less technical, but bringing out the complexities of the less technical using a technical perspective? How did this all happen for you?
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting how in life things evolve. So you start out in one direction, and then you suddenly discover that is not all about life. And then you begin to get into a space where you learn a lot of stuff, about other things. And then by the time you start blending it together, the whole comes together. So I think as a science student, I love really to read a lot. And I read also other books like leadership books along the line.
Yeah.
And that began to open up a well inside of me that if I say now, I will believe that I'm a literary genius.
You
if I
are.
can put it that way.
No, you are. Truly, you are.
Yeah.
So go on.
I mean, I happen to be an individual that loves learning, and just like I said, starting out with sciences, going into the university to study physics electronics. I came out of the university as the best graduating student in my set in 1991.
Beautiful.
At Federal University of Technology, Akure.
Okay.
At that time, I really would have loved to read engineering, but okay, that's a different story on its own. So from that experience, I came back after youth service to start lecturing in the same university.
Wow.
And then
amazing.
About 6 years into the job, I then had an opportunity of following my dream. I wanted to work in the industry. I wanted to work in the industry.
Yeah.
At that time, if I recall correctly, the academics were having strikes, successive strikes here and there. And I remember one particular team. My take-home pay cannot take me home. I can't forget that strike at that time. That was the theme of the strike. My take-home pay cannot take me home. So, to cut a long story short, I found myself in an oil and gas industry, and the journey has been so exciting. You meet people from all walks of life, so that opens you up to different cultures, different perspectives to issues. And having to work in an industry that is so regulated and ethics is really top notch. People development side of things then come into play. You cannot succeed without people. You can't do anything of meaning alone. You need others. And then you start learning about stakeholders management. You start learning about working in teams, bringing in diversity, and using that platform to actually achieve objective goals or vision. And now I'm at a stage where I'm thinking, I need to start giving back. Yeah, developing others through coaching, through mentoring, and writing books. That's where I am.
Beautiful. I mean, your story is an amazing one. Looking at your journey right from like best graduating student, physics, electronics, such a complex discipline, I must say, because back in school, I had friends who were doing physics and all that. So I understand the complexities involved in that field. Then again, moving back to do a little bit of lecturing, then now into the industry. Your journey is such an amazing one, as in it's a beautiful one, I must say. More or less, you've seen the two sides. You've been at the end of lecturing space, or rather production space, and now I want us to look at your latest work, your book.
So talking about my latest work is really one that is exciting and that gives me joy. Like I said, I'm into mentoring and coaching. So as I began to mentor folks, one of the key issues that came up is that I couldn't lay my hand on any literature or any text that you can use as a platform or a template to mentor an individual. So I then began to think within myself, what about if I start putting this thought together in a way that it could resonate with anyone I'm mentoring? So as I was writing this stuff, I started trying it out with my mentees, and the feedback was amazing. And that gave me the kind of impetus now to put it down in such a way that other parts of the world can benefit from it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what inspired the title Leadership Got Born?
Okay, there are two sides to it. I think there is the one I would call the primary side to it, and then the secondary. You know as well that there's no way you can be a leader without first and foremost leading yourself. Self-leadership is actually the foundation of leadership. True. And you come to a point in your life where you just start thinking about, what is my purpose? What is actually my assignment at this particular phase of my life? And that came to me around 2010, 2011. And that time it coincided more or less with a need at my place of work. So I began to search out through leadership materials. I was reading books, and as a believer, I was also praying alongside. So at that time, a philosophy came to me, and that philosophy was soar high, secure our asset responsibly, helping individuals to gain height. And that philosophy was based on observation from nature. You watch the eagle. As the eagle begin to fly right from the ground, flaps its wings in the air, and swerves around the boisterous sun, and then fly to great heights. So it tells me that as individuals, we can soar high, we can fly to great heights, we can be high flyers. And so, founded on that philosophy was the beginning of my leadership journey. And I believe very strongly that at a point where, at that inflection point, where you decide to be intentional about your leadership, that is the point in time that leadership has been birthed. So leadership has got born at that point in time. And it's a lifelong journey, you know. You can't say I'm there. Yes, exactly. So you need to continue to learn, to improve until you go to grave.
True.
And then the secondary part to it was that social media could be really, really, I would say, nuisance. Especially stuff like Facebook, Twitter, and what have you. Where you post a little things, arguments begin, abuses follows, and on and on and on. So I said to myself, I don't want to leave this space without adding value. I want to be there. So I started releasing nuggets, so wisdom nuggets. So if I release up to 10, I'll group them together and then post them on my blog. So that becomes group of 10.
A group of
10 nuggets. So as I began to write and share the posts, my blog, then feedback came from my associates to say, oh, these are refreshing nuggets. And then the idea came to say, okay, I can group the 10 nuggets together. And then I can also bring together all these nuggets in blocks of refreshing nuggets. So Got Born is a group of 10 blocks of refreshing nuggets. And because my blog at that time, I call it Got Born. And what I'm talking about is leadership. So leadership got born. So all those 10 nuggets are group of 10 blocks of refreshing nuggets. And today, I've also more or less created a newsletter around that. And the title of my book is also Leadership Got Born.
Now, you know, listening to you, one thing stands out is consistency. You know, it's like you want to change, or rather you want to change the world. But now you're not going out there to deconstruct the world out there. Rather, you're going inwards, looking at yourself, deconstructing yourself, and building from within. And those things you begin to like find out about your personality, yourself, you have built into blocks and you're sharing with the world. And over time, the blocks upon blocks upon blocks upon blocks, an edifice is born, so to say, and now you have now turned that edifice into another thing altogether, which we call a book now. So a superstructure, exactly. So you didn't just start like today. That's what I'm seeing. So the character we're seeing today is as a result of consistency over a period of time, and you have found your rhythm, and from within you're dishing out more to us. I mean, that is what I hear from what you just submitted. It's amazing, I must say, really amazing. So when are we expecting this book to hit, the bookshop and the bookshelves and all of that?
Yeah, by the grace of God, the soft copy, the soft version will be out next week. Where we are now is just the manuscript is already fully edited, and we're going to start formatting in 2 days. So from there on, the soft copy will be out next week, and then the print should be out in the next 3 to 4 weeks afterwards. Yeah,
I can imagine what you've gone through, putting out this material, as in I write myself, I publish myself, so I understand what goes in. Listening to what you just said now, formatting, editing, and all of that. So it's amazing. We say kudos to you for what you have done. Now, looking at the future, what do you see based on all you have put on the table? Now, what do you see?
I'm not quite clear about where the future, let's say 5 to 10 years will be, but I'm very, very clear about the next 1 year. I will continue to propagate the messages that I've propagated in the book. We started by saying I started from the sciences and now delving into art, balancing it. And I discovered that leadership actually is both art and science. Amazing.
Now, explain to us. I want my audience to enjoy this part of you now. Go ahead.
Let me give you an example. So in my chapter 1, I actually try to compare a leader with light. Most of the time when we want to train someone, we want to teach someone, we say, you need to enlighten your dark areas. And what it means clearly is that there's something so super about light. And what light is closer to us that we can relate with than stars and the sun that is in our own galaxy, the Milky Way.
The Milky Way.
I then relate that to an individual to say, you as an individual, for you to be a good leader, you must recognize that you are talented. So you must be simply talented and real. You must be yourself. And I remember what you said while we were speaking now, that I'm being original.
Very.
You don't have to imitate anyone. You have all the stuff within yourself. You can be simply talented and real, a star. You can be a star leader. In your own unique way, you can bless the world. You can make things around you beautiful by just being you.
Beautiful.
And talking about still leadership being art and science, I compared the characteristics of leadership with that of light. So light have many sources. You can talk about the light from the sun, the fire, the fluorescent, the lantern, and so on and so forth. You can also talk about the intensity of the light. You can talk about the brightness of the light or the luminosity of the light. You can talk about its interaction as it's moving through water, through medium, and all those things. You can talk about the nature of light, where you say light has the wave particle duality.
Yeah.
You mentioned that at the beginning.
I did, yes.
You can talk about the gain factor,
yeah,
or the spectrum of light, where you talk about ultraviolet, infrared, and also those things. So I've mentioned siblings. If you look at it, the first letter of each word actually meant something, siblings. And what is sibling? Sibling talks about children of the same parent.
Yeah.
The family.
Yeah.
I then relate that to the values or the characteristics of a leader. Self-awareness, integrity, being respectful, learning and listening, influence and trust, nifty and nimble communicator, gratitude and empathy, selflessly courageous. So in essence, life differs in siblings, but leadership comes together in siblings. Powerful.
Amazing. I mean, it's like everything is within us, or rather, just around us, to like glean from and bring about the changes we so desire around us. But so many times we are so encumbered and, what I say, blinded from that vision. But when we come across people like you, who by the grace of God have come to discover this light, like you said, and it's like, wow, I never saw it in this light. The light I'm receiving now, I never saw it in this light. So your light now kindles my light. And I just go out there, say, based on what I've heard from Famous Amos, this is what I'm going to do, and I begin to like go inwards, search within that originality, and begin to also like define my word through that. That's what I hear from what you say. And it's amazing. And the truth is, you mentioned stars. The stars from where we stand, they are so far away. It's like when you look at them, they are so far away. But imagine when you travel light years, if that's possible for us, you go closer, you come to see that they are actually not small. It's just the distance. Massive. So, and they don't touch one another. They occupy a given space, and all of them are given this light, so that from where we stand, they beautify the universe. And that is what we stand for. Listening to what you have said now, each and every one of us, like siblings, life differs in siblings. Leadership also come together in siblings, like you said. So it's like you look at the siblings, they're all different somehow. They all have different personality. They all respond, with different characteristics and what have you. But also when you look at leadership, it brings all of them again together. Just like you said in your book, that part that I read about the rainbow. When you have the bright light through the. I wanted to say something about that, passing the bright light through the prism and all of that.
Yeah. So what happens is that light has components, yeah?
Yeah.
And you don't know until you pass it through a prism. Where it is dispersed.
Yeah.
And then what amazes you is that you begin to see different colors.
Yeah.
And we call it Roig beef.
Yeah.
Roig beef. The red color, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, the indigo, the violet.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, you will recall that Isaac Newton actually discovered 5.
Yes, actually.
It was later that yellow and indigo was added. It shows clearly that we see in perspectives.
True.
Both of us might be looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
But we may derive different information from those things that we're looking at. And that's why when we talk about diversity, a nation as Nigeria should not be groping in darkness. This nation is blessed.
Not at
it's
all.
a diversity. If we get leadership right, this nation just receive a spark.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Guys, we've been discussing with, don't mind me, I'll call him the way we call him, Famous Amos. I mean, you'll agree with me, his perspective to leadership is pretty much, unique. It's rich. Listening to him for this, should I say 20 plus minutes, it's rich. The way he's been talking about using scientific principles, and just teaching, let me use that word, the leadership principles. It is amazing. And now zeroing into Nigeria, looking at our diversity. Our diversity shouldn't be our weakness. rather our strength. And I want you to dwell a little bit on that. How do we get it right as a nation? How do we get it right?
I mean, it's quite simple, Coach Amakri. I think the most important thing is vision.
Yeah.
If you let people see what is possible, and you present it in a compelling way, because you have to be able to communicate what you have seen.
Yeah.
This is where we are going, and everybody can see that glorious future, and they will be desirable. They will be desirous of following you on that journey. Because they know what is at the end of that. So whether it is sacrifice, whether it is resources, or what have you, once you are able to give them that picture of the future that they intend to feature in, you've gotten it. So it's about vision, it's about leadership.
Yeah.
And all the resources will come together because people will be coming with ideas, collective interests, and resources will come, and then you begin to deliver.
Amazing. It is our earnest desire and sincere prayer that we will get it right. You know, as a nation, as a people, we will get it right. Getting it right here now, just piggyback on what you just said with regards to our diversity. We are different. You pass the white light through the prism. At the other end of the prism, you see the beauty embedded in the white light. So you're fighting. No, there's so much within the white light. Just allow it shine. Let it go through the prism. You see the beauty. You see the beauty, and I mean, that is it. And our uniqueness, our individuality, or our differences rather, is seen. We're individuals, but our differences, when we pass it through the prism, is seen.
Beautiful.
We bring out that beauty. Amazing. I wish we can go on and on this conversation. I'm learning so much, and I know my audience too. I mean, they are learning. Now, before I let you go, I would like to, you're a mentor, you coach, and you're a TED Talk speaker.
Yeah.
Now, I know one or two people will be asking, so how did you go about all of this? I want to also be in that mode that Famous Amos is in now. How do I go about it? What do I do? What will be your response to those young minds and desirous individuals who are listening to us at this very particular hour?
Yeah, I think the first advice would be that to him that is willing, all things are possible.
Great.
The resources that we need, actually, I look at it as tangible, or it is the intangible resources within that matters most. Because if you can think it, you can have it.
Amazing.
So the first thing is to work on our mindset, because I believe very strongly that. Also in my book, I mentioned something around thinking. When I say thinking is scarce, I will not want to break it down here because I want people to actually get a copy and digest it very well.
Thinking is scarce.
It's scarce.
Thinking is scarce.
Yeah, indeed.
Give us a peek into that thought. Thinking is scarce. Give us a peek into it.
Okay, that word scarce actually is an acronym. And when you go through my book, you will see tons and tons of acronyms to simplify all these concepts and philosophies.
Yeah.
So the first S is around strategic thinking.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go on and on, but just
I know you're giving a peek into it. Thinking is scarce. I mean, the first S, strategic thinking, and it's really true. Really true. I mean, when you look at the concept of thinking, from scriptures, say, as a man thinketh in his heart,
so he is.
So if you have quality thought or quality thinking process, it will reflect in everything you do.
Yeah. So let me give you another perspective. So a lot of people, majority of the people are working in places of work. So they get hired, and then we present to them job description. Some people will get that job description and they will tell themselves, no, I'm not going to go beyond all these things. My job is to do A, B, C, and D.
And stop there.
But what they forget is this, that life is much more than just
job
delivering
description.
Your job. Because there is something we call work.
Yeah.
And work is bigger than job. And I will break it down.
Go ahead.
Because job is a specific activity targeted toward a specific end. And work is any activity that is targeted towards expected end. Know the difference, specific, any. And work also involves both mental and physical activity.
Yeah.
As you begin to grow in your industry, what you are paid for is actually more of thinking than anything else. Your ability to be able to solve problems.
you just struck a chord now. Pastor Sam Adeyemi, recently I stumbled upon one of his teachings, which he now breaks into snippets on IG and TikTok and what have you. He said he was talking about strategic management and operational management. Yes, when you see those who are operational, and as a result of, should I say, promotions or elevations, they are moved into managerial roles. He said a lot of them not thought to think. So you see them still operating like an operator at that level, struggling, running around and all that. Say, no, you are now strategic. Your thinking should change. You are now to think out the process for the operators or the junior levels, as it were, to like marshal out, so you should be thinking. And if we take that into the ant kingdom, as in ants, when you look at the way the ants operate, you see the strategic ones, they don't move anything. They are just at the position.
Indeed.
Like they are not really sedentary, but they are more or less like at the position, and all the other workers rally around them like they are feeding from their thought energy as they're thinking.
Indeed.
They're giving them and all that. And just like what you just said, I just brought that back to me. And it's really a big challenge in so many organizations.
Indeed.
Oh my goodness. I wish I can keep you here. Honestly, I wish I can keep you here. But guys, you've heard it. His book is coming out. The soft copies are already there. I think it's on Amazon. Correct me?
It's going to be on Amazon next week.
Next week. That's the Kindle copy now.
Yeah.
Kindle. Yes, Kindle. Fine. So where else can we find your books? I mean, within Nigeria and without. I know for those in diaspora, it will be on Amazon. But what about within the country?
So within the country, I'm also trying to put it on 2 platforms. We've not really finalized on those 2, but it will also be the soft copy will be available. And then by the time the print comes out, the hard copy will be in distribution outlets, which I will announce definitely. Yeah.
Beautiful. So let my audience know how to catch you. Where can we catch you? Where is Famous Amos so famous that we can always see his face?
Okay, I'll drop 2 now. I'm active on LinkedIn. I show up there. And I also have a website, www.amosologunleko.com. Yeah.
All right then, guys, you've heard it. Let's catch up with Engineer Famous. We call him Famous Amos. I'll tell you why we call him that name, from the tribe we belong to. He's just like he explained on the show. He's a trailblazer. He's been involved in so many things, and our leader within the tribe, that's Safela Durutwe.
IFD himself, yeah.
Yes, just call that name. And all of us are like, yes, that he struck a chord for us. So we all call him the Famous Amos, and he is, I'm not saying this because he's sitting before me or he's here with me in the studio. He's a brilliant mind. Guys, I encourage you, wherever you are, mostly on LinkedIn, the professional space, go look for him there. You will not regretted. His thoughts and everything. I encourage you to go get his book. Like he said, he's going to announce it, and somehow I will get involved in it, and I'll let us know where to get the book and all that. Because the truth is, we need to start thinking. Our thinking pattern should change. Change from the poor thinking to rich thinking. Change from the low thinking to that high thinking. You begin to see things change around you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
One more thought from you before I say goodbye. One more thought.
Okay. I think it's also important that I say this. Every individual is actually unique.
Yeah.
You've got something that nobody else have to bless your world. Amazing. And there's no condition that cannot be improved. Start by improving yourself. You'll be amazed at so many things around you that need a touch of improvement and that need you to be the anchor, the champion of such improvements.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that final thought. We are all unique by design. All of us, every entity, be it 6 billion, 8 billion, walking upon the surface of the earth, more or less like we are carrying answers. We have 8 billion answers to all the problems facing us, but we need to discover that uniqueness within us. Amazing. Guys, you know how we do it on the show. This is the space where we come in to lean on one another's experience and forge a positive path. And today we just got a shoulder to lean on from Famous Amos. And I must say, we are blessed having him here. But time is not our friend. When we come in here, when it starts, it's like, oh, we're crawling. And all of a sudden, when we get into the mood, time just goes everywhere. And it's like, where did it go? Yes, I know when we call on him again, he's going to respond to us and share more. Please go ahead and follow him. Yes, on LinkedIn. That's one place that you will really get blessed by my dear brother, Amos. You will, guys. Yes. So till we come your way again, you know how we say it on the show. Bye for now.
Bye.
Amos?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sue. Awesome time it has been with you on the Word Cafe podcast today. Thank you for being there. You can catch me up on my social media handles, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, all at Amakri Isoboye. Also, you can get copies of my books, A Cocktail of Words, The Color of Words, my HR notebook, and Hawkers Focus on God on Amazon and Roving Heights online bookstores. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at the same address at Amakri Isoboye. I love to hear from you and how this podcast has impacted you. You can leave me a message at my email address, amakrigaribaldi@gmail.com. That is AMACHREEGARIBALDI. Yes, till I come your way again. Bye for now.